Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjanashalakayam Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Tadanti Swa Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Rahunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhavata sevaya bhavati uttamasloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopakumaraya govindaya namo namaha. Hare Krishna, welcome back to our Bhagavatam class. We learned in our previous 2 weeks back about Krishna's getting married to Rukmini. After that, we also heard the story of their son Pradyumna's birth. We learned those things. Now, another interesting story. It is chapter 56 from Canto 10, where Krishna is going to get a bad name. No one likes to get a bad name. Is anyone here who would like to get bad name? That you're mean, you're not kind, you're not a nice person. Everyone works for getting a good name in general, right? Rather, we should not be working for getting good name. Naturally, our quality should be good, right? We should not be trying to do something where we get a good name so that we can get some happiness by having good names. So we have to develop some qualities which naturally within us are good. So, but then we all know Krishna is all auspicious. He has all good qualities. There is nothing lack in him. There's no any tinge of traces of any bad qualities in Krishna. But interestingly, we are going to see now in the story that today from Bhagavatam, where Krishna is going to get a bad name, right? That means the lesson that we are going to learn is that irrespective of however we are, there will be people who will always try to tell something bad about us. So what are we supposed to do at that point of time? Do we try to work hard to go and tell that person, I'm not bad, I'm good? Or what are we supposed to do, right? What do we do when someone says you're a very bad person, you're not, you did like that, you did something bad, etc. So how do we react, even though if we might have not done such things? Hmm? So those are the things that we have to learn how to deal, how to do things. There are situations where we simply have to ignore and keep moving on with our good things, what we are doing, because we can't keep on going and correcting everyone who speaks bad about us. We simply waste our time by doing so. Because today someone will say bad and we go and talk to them and tell, you did not understand what I did. Actually, I was trying to do this one. And that person understand and says, I apologize, I misunderstood you. And tomorrow someone else is going to come, and a day after someone else is going to come. So this is going to keep on happening because no one is going to 100% agree that we are nice and good, right? So there could be a situation we have to just ignore and keep moving on the right direction rather than spending and draining our energy on trying to justify that they are wrong and we are good. And there are situations where we have to take an action and make sure that people understand that we did not do wrong. It is correct, especially when we are in a leadership position, especially we are in some administrative position. We really have to make sure that things are not wrong if you're not done things wrong. Otherwise, the people will lose trust on such leaders. Therefore, in a situation like that, in a position, one has to try to correct the situation if a bad name has been put on that person. So we are going to learn something here today, a beautiful story called Shamantaka Jewel, money. Money means not money, money, right? Money means a gem, a stone, a valuable stone, right? So this is a story where Sukadeva Goswami starts increasing the interest of Parikshit Maharaj. How he says is that having offended Lord Krishna, Satrajit tried as best as he could to atone by presenting him with his daughter and Shamantaka jewel. That is how this chapter starts with. Having offended Lord Krishna. When Parikshit Maharaj heard this one, immediately Parikshit Maharaj is going to ask, what happened? You all of a sudden you are skipping many many happenings and directly going to having offended Krishna. What happened? What is the Samantaka money? And why he has to offend Krishna? And why he has to give his daughter to Krishna? What is the reason and story behind it? Could you please tell more detail? Because I don't want to hear short stories. I want to have, please explain in detail what happened. And then at that point, Sukadeva Goswami says that this king, whose by name was Satrajit, was a great devotee of sun god. Is a great devotee of sun god. Can you think of anyone else from Mahabharata who is a great devotee of sun god? Kids? I know adults may quickly answer. Anyone? Yeah, Samanvi.
I know the Karna because he's the son.
Very good. Karna was also a great devotee of sun god. Likewise, the Satrajit was so great devotee of a sun god. He was so devoted. The devotion went into a change of relationship from being devoted to friends. They literally become like a friends, Satrajit and sun god. They become as close. Because of that, one day Satrajit, sun god was asking, I'd like to give you some gift. Is there anything that you'd like to have? Gift. And Satrajit saw something very special with sun god, was this stone called Shamantaka stone. It is as bright as sun. Okay. And he saw that he was wearing this one. And he asked, can I have that stone, that Shamantaka jewel? Right. And then he said, no problem. I can give you this one. Take it. And then he gave the jewel to Satrajit. Satrajit wearing the jewel around his neck, made a nice necklace out of it. And he was wearing, and he was walking with pride. because he was wearing, sun god's this special jewel, Shamantaka jewel, and he was just walking. He was walking around many places, and he also entered Dwaraka. Dwaraka, he came to Dwaraka. As he was walking, especially when you are at what, how, at what time or at what situation one walks brisk and straight and putting their heads up like that, and what are the situation one can walk in a such a way, such a manner. Yeah, Rukmini.
Pride.
Pride. When
And
you have, when
question.
you have a question, 1 second. When you have a lot of pride of having some lot of wealth, or pride of having knowledge, pride of being thinking yourself handsome or beautiful, or pride of being you've been born in a big family, aristocratic family, or a very orthodox family, one might think that they are better than others. So likewise, Satyajit was entering in Dwaraka with a lot of pride. As he was walking around the streets of Dwaraka, the citizens of Dwaraka thought that it is a sun god who has come down here, because they could not see. So he was so effulgent, so bright, they could not really see. Narayana Namastestu Shanka Chakra Gadadhara Damodara Vindaka Govinda Yadunandana. And then the residents of Dwaraka, they went to Krishna and they said, Narayana Namastestu. See, it's quite interesting. They are praying to Krishna saying, Narayana, oh my Lord, Narayana, Namastam. Now obeisances unto you. You are the holder of, what is it? Shanka, Chakra, Gadadhara. You are the holder of these four things. Damodara Aravindaka. And you lotus-eyed Damodara, your name is Damodara, whose eyes are like lotus, and your name is also Govinda, or cherished descendant of Yadu. Looks like the sun god has arrived into our city, Dwaraka. Yes, Rukmini, your hands are going to hurt. Go ahead and ask your question.
So my question is that, like, when sun god was giving the jewel, was he hesitating to give it?
No, he was happy because he's sun god. He doesn't really mind, right? Yeah. So that is another important thing. When you're giving, you should be giving things happily. Not one should not think, oh, what will happen to me if I give this one, and then I will not have this jewel, right? Remember, we discussed this in earlier classes. If you want to give dhanam, give the dhanam which you really like to have with you. That is the real dhanam, not the one that give the worst out and keep the best to yourself, right? Okay, coming back to the story. So these citizens of Dwaraka, they said that sun god has really seemed to be arrived here. We cannot open our eyes for even a second, millisecond, because it's so bright. It looks like he is coming to see you, my lord. But Krishna knows very well that it is not sun god, right? It's not sun god. Just imagine the sun comes down to earth. What will happen to us? If the sun gets closer, there are days, if you check the weathers, they'll have details here. There are days where sun and earth is closer. Even little closer, you will feel hot. Just little, not even too much, right? Little closer, we'll feel hot. Right? Just imagine the sun god comes and walks on the earth. Everyone will be burnt, right? All right, that's sun god. So Krishna knows very well about him. But King Satyajit, then after that, he went to his house. He went into the house and installed that Shamantaka jewel. As soon as he came back, then he installed the Shamantaka jewel in his house temple. He started worshipping that jewel. Does anyone have this habit of, if you like some, I see that Mahati is having a poppet in her hand. Is it a poppet? What is that in your hand?
A fidget spinner.
Is a spinner?
A fidget.
Yeah,
it looks like a popping spinner.
It's a popping spinner, Mahati. What is that, Mahati? Show that.
A popping spinner.
Popping spinner. Okay, so you can keep on doing like this to release your tension and pressure that you have, right?
You can pop the holes too.
Okay, you can pop the hole. Okay, so now you like that particular thing, right? Once you like those things, then you start worshiping those things because you don't want to give that up to anyone else. So likewise, Satyajit was having this Shamantaka jewel, and he in his temple room, he installed that jewel over there, and he started doing puja regularly. And you know what? You will be really amazed to hear about the speciality of this jewel, Shamantaka jewel. Every day, this jewel, it produces a lot of gold. Lot of gold. It produces a lot of gold. Please don't message me and ask me in the side, where can I find that now? I don't have the address, right? So maybe it is with Akrura now. And don't ask me Akrura's address either. I don't know. So he said that lot of gold it produces every single day. So he was very opulent. The king was very opulent because no problem when you have so much gold. Gold that defines the financial situation of the country, right? So every day it was so much it was producing. For example, every day it is said that 170 pounds of gold, 170 pounds of gold it produces, right? So no problem with the city. Everyone were happy, living happily. And then this message was reached to Krishna, right? This message reached to Krishna. And then Krishna then requested Satyajit, can you please give that gift, that some Shamantaka jewel to me? I will have it. And then you know what? That guy said, Satyajit said, no, sorry. He said, no, sorry. Yeah. So if Krishna comes and asks Mahati, can you, Mahati, give me that spinner? What will you do, Mahati?
I would give it to Lord Krishna, Prabhuji.
You are such a nice devotee. Now Krishna comes and tells, Mahati, you got a beautiful new home. Can you give the home to me? What will you do, Mahati?
I would give the house to Lord Krishna, Prabhuji.
You are a Uttama Adhikari. You are an exalted devotee. Fantastic. What will you do, Krishna? You're standing right next to your sister. What is in your hand?
I'm eating yogurt.
So if Krishna comes and asks you, Krishna, Krishna, my name is also Krishna. We have the same name. Can I have your toys? Will you give your toys to Krishna?
I would give it to
What?
I will give it to Lord.
You will give it to Krishna?
I would give it to Lord Krishna.
You will give it to Lord Krishna. Oh my goodness. Yeah, wonderful. Very good. Thank you. So, but this person, Satyajit, he said, no, sorry, I cannot give you. Goodbye. And then Krishna became a little not happy with that one because Krishna likes to have the best to him. He doesn't like to have anything less than best. You know, there are kids sometimes, they like to get A plus. Anything less than that, they cannot take it, right? They cannot take it. Likewise, Krishna wants everything A plus 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 plus. Everything top he wants to have, right? So therefore, Krishna was quite not happy with this one because, whatever the best thing has to be given to Krishna, one day, the story is going to get interesting now. One day, the Satyajit's brother, Prasena, okay, Satyajit's, I'm going to ask the names at the end. You have to remember the names, at least. Okay, Satyajit's younger brother was Prasena. Prasena was very playful. He was quite playful. So what he did was, he took the necklace, which was kept over there. He took the necklace, he wore on his and around his neck, and he went into the forest. He mounted the horse and went into the forest for hunting very happily, right? As he went to the forest, something happened. He didn't return back home. So he did not return, and then also the jewel was missing. So Satyajit thought, oh, since I told Krishna I will not give him, looks like Krishna stole the jewel. And then he sent his people to find for his brother and found that Prasena was killed, dead. Then he made up a imaginary story. Satyajit made a story that Krishna killed my brother and took the jewel and went away. This news,
Which is wrong.
this news spread like a wildfire everywhere. Everyone, hey, you know what? Hey, Samanvi, you know what? Krishna stole the Samantaka jewel. And Samanvi goes, Mahati, I have a news for you. You know, Krishna killed Satyajit's brother Prasena. And then immediately you grab and everyone start talking about sending WhatsApp message and SMS message and everything in the blog. And then it's in the Facebook. And everywhere it just spread, its news was spread everywhere. Even though there were no internet those days, the news was spreading like a wildfire. The message obviously came to Krishna. Krishna had, what? I took the Samantaka jewel and killed that guy? I have no clue. But then Krishna did not decide to just ignore the situation, right? Ignore the situation and keep going. It's okay. People talk rubbish. We cannot keep addressing because he was in a position. Everyone looks upon Krishna and Krishna want to clear that bad name that he got, right? So therefore Krishna said, let's get this cleared up. So Krishna went into the forest. When he went to the forest, he saw over there the Prasena was dead. But then further down there, interestingly, there was a lion which was also dead near the cave. There was a lion was dead. And then Krishna thought there should be something interesting within this cave. So Krishna went into the cave, entering into the cave. As he entered into the cave, interesting thing he saw. He saw a child. A child was playing with a toy. And guess what the toy was? This Shamantaka jewel. Right? He was playing with the toy. This kid was playing with the toy. Like just throwing and playing, doing whatever the stuff that baby usually does, right? And then there was a nurse who was nursing the child. As soon as the nurse saw, the Krishna went and tried to grab and take the Shamantaka jewel from the baby. And the baby started crying. I don't need to teach any of you. You're all very good in crying. You must have mastered how to cry in different ragas, different versions, right? Let's see here. Akshara, can you cry, please?
Okay, that's how I cry.
That was sweet and nice. Okay, how do you?
He doesn't cry usually.
Right, but you know, Prabhu, you all know the whole process that we are doing, which is called Krishna consciousness, is a crying movement. You believe it or not.
Yes.
It is a crying movement. And I'll tell what it is. We'll get to that point. But I like to hear want to see how you all really cry. Samanvi, can you please cry?
Okay.
Oh, that cry doesn't have any sound. Ananda, looks like you're ready for crying now. From your face, I see that. Go ahead, cry, Ananda. Come on, blast out. Come on, cry. Oh my goodness. Is that a cry? Okay. I really wish that you would cry like that when situation happens. Okay, who wants to cry next? Meher, you want to cry?
I don't know.
No, you don't want to cry now? Anyone
I
else?
actually don't.
Okay, Rukmini, go ahead. Looks like you're a master in crying. Go ahead. You're so confident.
Can I try?
Did you already finish your crying, Rukmini?
Yeah, I'll try.
Oh, that is whining. Okay. Who else want to try?
Richisa.
Richisa, go ahead, Richisa.
Um,
when I see you all crying, I feel like crying also. Okay, very good. You all did a good job. But I know this is not how you really cry when the event happens, situation happens. It will be more loud, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, this child was crying, and then the nurse who was taking care of the child ran away and reported to the child's father. And then the father came. Interestingly, that father is,
Jambavan.
yeah, by the name called Jambavan. How many of
Rama,
you?
Rama.
Yeah, exactly. Does anyone know Jambavan? Yes. Rukmini also, Samanvi, Mahati. Yes, good. Jambavan, we can read about Jambavan in Ramayana, right? It's the same Jambavan over here. That means he lived for a long time. So Jambavan. So Jambavan, when he came, he just got really mad. Really did not even consider who was standing there. He became really angry and started fighting with Krishna. He was fighting with Krishna. He fought so much. There was a serious fight. It was not like, how kids you all fight rolling on each other, and then it's not like that. It was a real fight with all the different weapons that they had, they carried. And then after finishing with weapon, they started fighting with the stones, and they started pulling the tree trunks, and then with their arms, they started wrestling and fighting and eating at each other. And then the fight was continuing for so many days. The message went to Dwaraka, and then everyone was panicked, thinking that what's going to happen, and they started doing pujas. Oh my God, Krishna should be saved. They were praying to God to save Krishna, interestingly. And then they were all praying like that. The fight was going on for many, many days. I believe it was said that 28 days the fight was going. And then finally, one point of time, Jambavan became weak. He became weak, and he now understood that this person who's fighting with me, who can fight me, cannot be anyone else other than the Supreme Lord himself. Then he folded his hand and asked for forgiveness and fell at the feet of Krishna. And then Krishna showed him that you are my devotee, Jambavan. And then he was so happy because what? Krishna in his previous avatar, he was Lord Ramachandra.
Chandra.
Yeah, Ramachandra. And Jambavan was one of the key player over there who helped also to find Sita. And he was quite an old person at that time. So Jambavan was there, and Jambavan prayed to Krishna, holding his hand and deeply making his offering. And then, as a result, Krishna got the jewel, Shamantaka jewel, along with jewel. He got another jewel.
Jambavi.
Exactly. Jambavan had a daughter. Who knows her name? Yes, go ahead.
Jambavi.
Jambavi. Yeah, okay. So Jambavati was her name. So Jambavati was given as a gift as well to Krishna. And Krishna happily got a new, she's not married yet. She's going to get married. But then she got a new to-be wife, would be. So he took Jambavati and returned back. And when he returned back, he got the jewel, and everyone was wondering who this girl is. Rukmini was the first wife, right? He said, oh, who's this? Oh, this is your another sister, Jambavati. And then Rukmini became very happy. And then they got married over there. And Satyajit was feeling bad because he returned the jewel to Satyajit. Krishna returned the jewel to Satyajit. By then the message was already out because of Satyajit's mistake. Then Satyajit felt very bad that he really spoiled the reputation of Krishna. Right? So it's very important that when we comment on someone or say something bad about someone, especially to someone else or in a public, we have to be very careful, because once a word spreads out, comes out of our mouth, it will be somewhere there, the traces will be there. Therefore, before we speak something, better to not speak anything bad about anyone, period, right? Not even speak about bad about anyone. But if you have to say something for the benefit of society, then make sure what we are saying is right and tell it in a proper way. Otherwise, it's going to be very hurtful to the person, and because if the situation is not right, then it's going to be very bad for that person in the future. So therefore, Satyajit was feeling miserable that he really created a bad reputation for Krishna. He was thinking, what can I do? Correct the situation. What can I do? So he was thinking. Then he went to Krishna and he said, "My dear Krishna, please forgive me for my mistake. And here is the jewel, Shamantaka jewel. Please take it. And along with the jewel, I'm going to give you a very special jewel that I have, which I really, really love to my heart. That is my daughter." And what is that daughter's name? Anyone knows? No one knows? Satyajit's daughter is attached to the story of Shamantaka jewel.
Jambavan.
Jambavan. Okay. Jambavan's daughter is what Krishna just got married to. Jambavati.
Satyabhama.
Samanvi, go ahead.
Satyabhama.
Satyabhama, Samanvi and others. Thank you very much. Satyabhama. So he gave in hand to Krishna his daughter Satyabhama. Right? So how many wives Krishna has now? As of this, at this point, name them out. First one.
Jambavati.
First one.
Rukmini.
Rukmini. Second one.
Jambavati.
Jambavati. Third one.
Satyabhama.
Satyabhama. That's it. Only 3 wives Krishna has, right? Now, Krishna, Satyabhama was a very special character. I wouldn't say character is not a right word to tell like this. Special personality. She's a very special personality with a lot of, she is very beautiful and broad-minded and with all of good qualities. If someone has to be Krishna's wife, we don't even have to discuss about their qualities. Obviously, they are with the great qualities, right? And Krishna said that I will take your daughter, but I'll return your jewel back. So you please take this jewel because this has been given to you because of your devotion to sun god. So you preserve it, you take care of it. And then Satyajit took the jewel and he went back. And Krishna, after some time, he went to Dwaraka. He went to Dwaraka. Because why he went to Dwaraka is that he heard the news that Pancha Pandavas were killed by a fire accident. They went in some place and they were living in a house, and that house got burnt and all the Pandavas got killed. Right? That's the message he got. But Krishna knows what is the truth. He knows very well. But then as a formality, he went to meet with them over there. And then he met with Bhishma, Kripa, Vidura, Gandhari, Drona, everyone. Everyone were crying, including Duryodhana, right? But this all planned by Duryodhana himself, who planned it. But then he was having a crocodile cry. You know what crocodile cry? Have you heard this phrase called crocodile cry? It's not real cry. It's artificial. Like how you all sometimes do. You really don't feel, hurt, but you still make a big scene out of it by making crying, whatever the cry. Today is all about crying, right? Today's class is all about crying. Oh, I forgot to tell why we are also known as crying movement. Anyone knows? We should all be crying, practicing crying every day. You must be thinking, what are you talking about? We should be happy in Krishna consciousness. We are doing bhakti, therefore we should be happy. Why should we cry? So 2 hands are raised. So both of you can go one at a time. Let's see. Samanvi, go, and then Rukmini, you can go next.
So, I think we're crying because we want to go back to Godhead.
My goodness, I cannot tell any secrets here. There's nothing secret for you kids. Rukmini, you go ahead. I think we're crying because we are crying because of the bhakti for Krishna, and also as same as Samanvi. As and also what?
Same as
And
Samanvi.
also I agree with Samanvi. Go back to God.
You agree with Samanvi. You all can form a party, looks like. Okay. So
Akshara.
yeah.
Akshara is
Yeah.
right.
Who's right? Oh, Akshara, go ahead. Sorry.
So I think that it isn't. I think the crying that you're trying to talk about isn't like crying. It's like you're crying out to Krishna to go back to Godhead.
Beautiful, Akshara. Very nice. So therefore, are we crying in front of Krishna? It's very important. Not crying out of Krishna.
And
Not,
I think what the cry you mean is just the Maha Mantra.
yeah, my goodness. Yeah. So when you chant, are we crying, or when you're doing the cry out of bhakti, out of love and devotion to Krishna, that cry is completely accepted. But crying for unnecessary things, thinking, look at this, what happened to me? And I don't have money. I have this problem. I have that problem. Crying for these things are mostly due to our ignorance, right? Ignorance. Someone asked something? Um, Go ahead. Who's that?
So, Rukmini.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to tell that we should also sometimes, we should also not cry for Krishna for like getting something, like, for example, crying for getting a scooter, or crying for like getting a bike, and we will give Krishna some money. We should cry because we want to go back to God.
Exactly. Crying for all the material things that you just listed out is not considered to be a great bhakti. Bhakti should be not expecting any material things from Krishna, but rather only expecting service from Krishna, seva from Krishna. Whether we are in this world or when we go back to Krishna, we only have to beg for service opportunities all the time. So that's why our movement is also can be called as a crying movement in that sense. Okay. Now, after Krishna visited them and they were just talking nicely, and they were just not nicely, meaning what happened to Pandava at the time, taking this time, Akrura and Kritavarma, they were there. They were thinking, it's all this Satyajit brought a bad name to Krishna. We really have to do something. They were thinking like that because they don't like anyone saying anything bad about Krishna. So they're really not happy for what Satyajit did, because the word is spread everywhere now, right? Even though Krishna rectified it, but still the traces are out there already. Therefore, we should not let Satyajit have the jewel. We have to do something. So they were just thinking something, and they approached another king called Shatadhanva. They went to Shatadhanva and they said that, you know what, Shatadhanva does not like Satyajit. He said, you have to kill and defeat Satyajit and then take the jewel. And then what this person did was,
they said to kill Satyajit?
Yes. And then obviously Shatadhanva went and killed Satyajit and then took the money. When Satyabhama came to know that her father has been killed, she couldn't take it, and she went and cried to Krishna. And Krishna became very angry, and he took his chariot and then went chasing Shatadhanva. Shatadhanva, knowing that Krishna is coming, he gave the jewel to Akrura and ran away. But then Krishna did not leave Shatadhanva. He went and chopped Shatadhanva's head. And then Krishna found out that he is not having the Shamantaka jewel. He must have given the Shamantaka jewel with someone to take care of. Then Krishna returned back. As he returned back, then he was having a conversation with Akrura, and then he spoke to Akrura, saying that Akrura, I know that you have the Shamantaka jewel. Can I take a look? And Akrura said, yes, my lord, I have it. Here it is. And then he showed the Shamantaka jewel, and Krishna showed the Shamantaka jewel to everyone to make sure that it is preserved, it's not been destroyed or something happened to it. And then he gave back the Shamantaka jewel to Akrura. And Akrura took it and kept it with himself. So after this, and Satyajit was killed, Shatadhanva was killed, and then Krishna was back to his place, and Akrura also was happy. And then what happened was an interesting incident started happening in Krishna's life. That is 58th chapter. 58th chapter. Where in the 58th chapter, Krishna, now as he was with Arjuna going into the forest, Arjuna saw a young girl, a very young girl who was wandering in the forest. And Arjuna went and asked her, who are you? What are you doing over here alone? And then what is your name? He was just asking all this question to that young, beautiful looking girl. And then that girl said that I am looking for a suitable husband. My name is Kalindi. And I only want to marry that suitable husband I'm looking for should be Krishna, no one else. So if at all I marry, I will only marry Krishna. And then Arjuna came and reported back to Krishna. And Krishna accepted Kalindi. And then Krishna's fourth wife is now Kalindi, right? First one is, everyone. First one.
Rukmini.
Second.
Jambavati.
Jambavati. Very good. Third.
Satyabhama.
Satyabhama. Fourth.
Kalindi.
Kalindi. Kalindi got married to Krishna and they were back home. And Krishna, one point of time, this is all, some of the stories are elaborately explained in Mahabharata. So in Bhagavatam, it is only given on a surface level. We'll just see only that much. And Krishna one time wanted to satisfy, please Agni Devata. So for satisfying Agni Devata, there is a forest called Kandava forest. And then Krishna, Arjuna told to burn the Kandava forest. To offered the Kandava forest to Agni Devata. Agni Devata happily consumed the forest. And one of the demon was living in that particular forest, Maya. So he came out, somehow fell at the feet of Krishna to save him. And Krishna saved him and told that Maya to build a beautiful, nice palace for Arjuna. And he built a nice palace for Arjuna. And after that, Krishna was traveling to a place called Avanti. Over there was a king and there was a daughter. Her name was Mitravinda. So there was a Swayamvara. There was a marriage ceremony. And whoever wins that marriage, that competition, they will get a chance to marry Mitravinda. And Krishna went over there. And as soon as Krishna went there, everyone became happy. The challenge is that they had a 7 bull. This is not an ordinary bull. They are very challengeable bulls, very, very strong bulls. One has to control the 7 bulls. Whoever controls the 7 bulls, they will get Mitravinda, to marry Mitravinda. And Krishna came there, he controlled the 7 bulls, tied them up, and then married Mitravinda. So Mitravinda is what number is her?
5.
5. Go back again. First one.
Rukmini.
Second.
Jambavati.
Jambavati. Third one.
Satyabhama.
Fourth.
Kalindi.
Fifth. Mitravinda. Very good. Mitravinda. So Krishna was happy over there. And then he got married. After marriage, life was going on. And as they were going, there was another king called Nagnajit. So Nagnajit was also arranging a marriage ceremony for his daughter. right? So as he was arranging a marriage for his daughter, Krishna came over there, and as he was thinking that who's going to be a suitable husband for my daughter, her name was Satya. Okay, and Krishna came there, and then the king very happily offered his daughter to Krishna, and they got married too. Satya. Satya is number
6.
6. Go back again. First wife is
Rukmini.
second.
Satyabhama.
Third.
Satyabhama.
Third.
Jambavati.
Fourth.
Satyabhama.
Fourth.
Kalini.
Fifth.
Metravinda. Satya.
Okay, Satya. All right. So they were all living together happily, and king of Koshala is the king of Koshala, whose heart melted with affection. Had the bride and groom seated, they all seated, the Satya and Krishna seated in the chariot, and they went back to Dwaraka. And next is there was a kingdom called Kaikeyi kingdom, which you must all be familiar. There was a beautiful princess by name Bhadra. What's her name? Bhadra. So Krishna got married to Bhadra as well. Bhadra is number 7. Now please repeat. Number 1.
Rukmini.
Number 2.
Jambavati.
Jambavati. Number 3.
Satyabhama.
Number 4.
Kalini.
Number 5.
Mitravinda.
Number 6.
Satya.
Number 7.
Bhadra.
Subhadra. Come on, Subhadra is sister of Krishna. Don't create confusion with the family. Bhadra.
Arjuna married Subhadra.
Yes. Okay. All right. So there was another king of Madra. Okay. He had a daughter by name Lakshmana. Okay. And Krishna married to Lakshmana. What's the number of Lakshmana in the order? 8. Now let's complete by repeating their names starting from one. Now parents are not going to help the children from the back. Okay. So let the children try their best to repeat the names. Number 1.
Rukmini.
Number 2.
Jambavati.
Number 3.
Satyabhama.
Number 4.
Kalindi.
Very good. Number 5.
Mitravinda.
Number 6.
Satya.
Very nice. Number 7.
Bhadra.
And number 8.
Lakshmana.
Very good. You all did a wonderful, good job of repeating these names. Remember and memorize these names. It's important to know these names. Now that ends the 5 princes getting married to Krishna. That is 58 sloka. And 59 sloka is killing of the demon called Narakasura. Okay. So Narakasura is killing. Any questions so far? No questions? Okay, now we'll continue then, if there is no questions. So there was a demon by name called Bhaumasura, who's also known as Narakasura. Bhaumasura is Bhaumasura because he is son of Bhumi, Mother Earth. Mother Earth, Bhudevi, right? Mother Earth's son is Bhaumasura. How he was born? When Varaha Dev went to save Mother Earth, by the touch, that's when another son was born. His name was Bhaumasura. But he was unfortunately a bad guy. He was really bad. So what he used to do is he has this bad habit of stealing things, collecting things and stealing things, right? He goes to Indra. He stole the Indra's mother's earring. He has a lot of collections by stealing. He went to Varuna and stole the Varuna's umbrella, right? And he goes to each of these devatas and steals something or the other from them. Very mischievous behavior, right? Not only that, he kidnapped many kings' daughters, unmarried daughters. He had a lot of collections of daughters of many kings. You know the number? People collect stamps. People collect stamps from different countries. People collect coins and dollars and the currencies from different countries. This guy had a habit of collecting the princess of many countries, unmarried girls, right? He had. Do you know how many he had? Any number you can throw? No idea? Yes, someone?
1 million?
1 million is really a lot. That's too much. Any other numbers? No? Yes.
16,000. 4,600.
4,600? 16,000?
Prabhuji, 4,600.
How did you come up with that number, Rukmini? 4,600?
I heard about it.
Prabhuji, is it 16,000?
Yes, Richisa, you're 100%, 99% correct. 99% correct. Yeah. So there were 16,100 princesses, right? So Krishna went and then fought with Bhaumasura. And when he went, interestingly, Krishna also took Satyabhama with him. When usually we're going to fight, no one takes their wife and go, right? They will tell you, better be inside. I'll take care of this guy. That's how usually people try to fight. But interestingly, here Krishna tells Satyabhama, you also come with me, we'll go. And then Satyabhama also comes, and then in front of Satyabhama, because Satyabhama is none other than the Mother Earth, incarnation of Mother Earth. Therefore, he wants to make sure that she's okay by doing so, because Bhaumasura is her son. But she was completely all right because Bhaumasura was not a good son. He was behaving and torturing everyone. Therefore, Krishna killed Bhaumasura and returned everything back to their respective devatas, giving the earring back to Indra's mother and umbrella to Varuna and so forth. And when he was returning, the 16,100 princesses, Krishna said, now you all can go back to your respective place. But they said, Krishna, we cannot go back. Who's going to marry us? We stayed in someone's house for this long. No one will marry us. Moreover, we think in our heart, you are my husband. Each one of them was saying, you are my husband. And Krishna said, so be it. I will marry you all. And a marriage happened at the same time. 16,100 the princesses got married to Krishna, and Krishna expanded himself into 16,100. Right? He expanded himself. Marriage happened at the same time. Therefore, Krishna had how many wives now? 16,100. And then what's the number we saw earlier?
16,100
plus 40.
Hold on. No cross talking here. 1 second. Richisa, go ahead.
16,100.
Okay, Rukmini, go ahead.
It's kind of math class. 16,100 plus 7.
100 and what?
100 plus 7.
Not 7. What happened to the other one?
8.
8 plus 8.
Yes, Samanvi, correct. 108. Krishna married 16,000 wives. So that's how Krishna kills all unmarried. And chapter we are going to see is
60,000.
and then the next chapter we are going to see is a beautiful conversation, a playful mood between Krishna and Rukmini. We will start that in our next class. Okay, chapter 60, how Krishna teases Queen Rukmini. We'll end here and open up for any discussions. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the homework?
Homework is crying homework. Cry for Krishna, not for other thing. Your mom did not give anything. Your dad did not give that one, did not take you to a friend's place or whatever it is. You should not cry for that. So the first thing is to stop crying. Children, this is all for your assignment. How many of you cried last week? Please turn on your camera. Those who are not the children, turn on your cameras. Richisa, please turn on your camera. So the first question I'm going to ask you all is, any one of you cried this past week? Raise your hand. Rukmini raised her hand. Samanvi raised her hand. Mahati did. So Akshara, you did not. You didn't get a chance to cry last week. Is it right? Akshara, you did cry? No. Richisa, you cried. Okay. So you all cried last week. So this week's assignment is not to cry. Those who cried last week, you are not going to cry this week. Those who did not cry last week, you're going to cry this week. You got it? You got it? Everyone, thumbs up. Those who cried last week, you should not cry this whole week. Those who did not cry last week, you have to cry this week. But cry for Krishna's bhakti, love. Okay? Those who have not cried, it's going to cry out, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant with that emotion of separation from Krishna.
Prabhuji, can't we cry too?
First, you have to come out of that crying before you cry for Krishna. All right? It will be a big shift for otherwise, immediately to jump into crying for Krishna. So 1 week you practice without crying for whatever you cried last week. So practice not to cry this week first. And the next week you can cry for Krishna. All right? So I'm going to ask this next week. So you're all going to tell whether you practice this assignment or not. Thumbs up? Yes? Good. Very good. What else we have? Any questions?
Prabhu, I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes, Ravi Prabhu.
I have a comment.
Comment comes at the end. Ashok Prabhu will take the comments. Let's finish the questions. Is it okay?
Prabhu,
Diksha is missing here. She was here before, right? Yeah, Diksha is not here. Maybe she had something. Okay, go ahead, Ravi Prabhu.
Prabhu, the Ashtabharyas of Krishna, 8 wives, did they had any previous life or they had any desire they want to marry Krishna, Prabhu?
I never heard any such things, Prabhu, and I don't have that information.
About 108 wives
108?
or 16,000, I think they were
They were the. It is said that the
Ramayana.
great rishis,
Yeah.
especially in the story in the Ramayana, the rishis, when they saw Lord Ramachandra, they had a desire wanting to have a more close relationship with Krishna. For that reason, it is said that they appeared in this yuga as these princesses, and Krishna married them.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay. So I know that Satyabhama is none other than Bhudevi. So Lakshmi, Rukmini is for sure a Sri Devi, right? So the rest of them are surely Amsa or incarnations, expansions of Lakshmi. for sure.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, Akshara.
My question is, when you were telling the story of when all 16,100 princesses were took from kingdom, weren't the guards and like the parents of the princesses there to like save their princesses, the kids?
You see, it was out of control because the Bhaumasura was very powerful demon. Right? No one could defeat him. They were helpless. Right? Some people doesn't even know that where their daughter has gone. It's been really kidnapped by Bhaumasura or they're lost. Some people doesn't even know. Right? Yeah.
Thank you.
They didn't have that Google locator where they can find out where is my daughter. Right? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Prabhuji, regarding Ravi Prabhu's question, Prabhuji, I've heard that all the Dwarka queens are the expansions of Radharani and the Gopis. Is that true? And
no, yeah, exactly. That's same thing I said. They're all expansion of Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi is also with that expansion, comes from Srimad Radharani. So, yes.
And Satyavama, I have heard that Rukmini is the expansion of Chandravali and Satyavama is the expansion of Radharani.
I can't remember. You may know better. I don't remember much.
No, I don't know better. I have heard somewhere. Just wanted to clarify with you.
Yeah. Maybe you can find out and share with us next time. We can find out.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other? Okay.
Prabhuji, maybe I missed this, but you talked about the lion that was in the cave and died. How do we know why or how? Did you? Maybe you explained that. I just missed it. But was there some significance in the story of this? Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I missed it actually. I didn't tell. So the lion killed the brother of Satyajit and took the jewel Shamantaka with it, and then the Jambavan, the Jambavan whom we spoke about, he killed that lion and took the jewel from the lion and gave it to this child. So that's all it is. There's nothing much of more significance on that particular line. That's all it is.
So is it fair to say that lion was basically the keeper of that jewel? Then he was the protector, or he was guarding it.
Jambavan, lion was killed. Jambavan was like a bear. He was the one who was preserving that jewel, not the lion.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Prabhu, is it also true that Jambavan wants to fight with Krishna in the Rama during Rama time?
Yeah, that's another rasa where Krishna satisfies his devotees' desire, or devotee satisfies Krishna's desire of having the chivalry spirit of rasa. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Ashik Prabhu, back to you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice detailed discussion. Any other questions or comments from everyone? Anyone?
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I have a comment. I like the whole class.
Okay. Oh, you like the whole class? Okay. Me too.
Someone else was going to give a comment. Is it Akshara? I can't remember who was going to.
It was Ritisha.
Ritisha.
Richie.
She's gone.
Okay,
She's gone.
She's there.
All right, Prabhu. I think we'll see everyone next week.
I have a comment.
Yes.
I love the whole class, and I really didn't know that Krishna had 16,108 wives.
Very nice. You learned it now today.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Thank you. All right, Prabhu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We are done.
Okay, I'm dropping. Thank you. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavada.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.